so I had to. So that's interesting. So we have two opposing results here. I don't even have to say PEM. Okay, I'm not gonna say PEM, and I don't want to hear PEM. Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I am JC. If you are new here from JustLostJC, yeah, oh, whatever. Alright, glad to be back. You can see the hair is out. We're doing vibes here. I'm going to start off the video saying that I went through a 9-month hair transformation. Shout out to everyone that was here during that time. Oh, love to see it. The growth, the volume, the things happening. This is first day hair, so I'm very excited to have it out. Now, you know, it was a while at the time, but what helped me on the journey was using my hair growth oil. So I'm going to leave a link down below if you're interested in a hair growth oil jam-packed with 13 different oils. For those of you that have used it, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Great reviews all around. Of course, you could continue to leave reviews on OMALICHILD.com, but definitely check out the oil if you're in the market for hair growth oil that works, honey. You can check out all the ingredients, make sure there's nothing you're allergic to, and yeah, let's get into it. So okay, this video, you can see from the title, all about porosity. I'm going to do some porosity tests with you here. I have been under the impression that my hair is low to medium porosity. That's what I've believed because I did a porosity strand test on my own. And let me tell you, okay, upon looking at some of the things that people say that different porosity type of hair reacts to products, reacts to washing, reacts to different things, now I've been a bit confused and I'm like, I don't know if it actually is low to medium. So I decided, listen, let's demystify this together. So in this video, we're going to do a porosity strand test, the normal water test, and I'm going to talk about some of the flaws with that test, but we're going to do it here. And then I'm going to take an actual quiz, porosity quiz, with you here on screen and see what my porosity is determined to be. And then we're going to go through how it is that you can tell without either of these tests some of the characteristics that low porosity hair has and high porosity hair has, and which ones that I fall into on either side or on one side specifically. So let's jump into it. So we're going to start off with doing the water test. So I do have a strand of hair here. Now, I have to say that there are some flaws with this test. The first flaw being that people have different porosity levels throughout their head. So if you're using one strand of hair from God knows where you grabbed it from, I don't even know where I grabbed this strand of hair from, probably from the side here. But the porosity on the side might be different from the porosity on the front, just like textures differ throughout the head, porosities differ throughout the head. So a lot of people take one strand of hair, do this porosity test, and think that whatever porosity is decided with that one strand is the porosity of their whole head, when in fact that may not be the case. It can also be the reason why you have different porosity test results every time you try it, leaving you in confusion. Confused, your head is scrambled like egg, is because you might be using hair strands from different sections of your hair. Another flaw with this test is the fact that products being on your hair will definitely affect the results, which makes sense, and it's not even something that I thought about the first time I did it. But when you think about it, oil and water, oil floats on top of water. If your hair strand is coated with something that is oil based, whether that is an oil, shout out to my hair growth oil, but if it's coated with an oil, if it's coated with some kind of butter or cream, it can lead to your hair being more heavy, more dense, meaning that it sinks, or it can lead to your hair having a barrier or coating on it that prevents the water in the porosity test from absorbing into the strands to truly be able to tell what your porosity is. Those are the two main flaws with it. With that being said, we're still going to do this on camera just so that we can see what my porosity level is according to this hair strand test. So I have one strand of hair here. This strand has been washed and stripped of everything on it. I actually use soap as opposed to shampoo to really make sure there's nothing on it. So hopefully that really helps. My hair is in here. I'm not sure how well you're able to perceive it. So my hair is floating in here with the porosity test. Another thing that you want to do is push your hair down to try and break that seal. And my hair is still floating on top. Majority of it is still floating on top. It has not sunk yet, and it has been quite some time. I'm going to poke again. And so with the porosity test this way, it says that if your hair majority floats and maybe somewhat is in the middle, then that means you have lower porosity hair, because that means the water was not able to soak into your strand, essentially making your strand really heavy and sinking your strand. And it's been in here for some good time, so I'm going to show one more time. Okay, so as we can see, my result, I would say from this strand test would be that my hair is low porosity, meaning that it takes some time, at least this hair strand, for my hair to soak up with water, for the strand of my hair to soak with water. Hopefully you all were able to see that pretty clearly and see how my hair remained mainly at the top of the glass. Listen, don't come for my glass, yeah. That glass used to have writing on it. It was a gift and someone wrote like congratulations or whatever, so you know, we tried to smudge it out, but it's never quite left, so don't come for my glass, yeah. All right. Okay, so the next part of this video, we're going to do the porosity hair quiz. I'm going to take this hair quiz with you, so I'm going to put on my screen the hair quiz from CurlsBot, and I'm also going to link it down below if any of you are interested in this hair quiz and taking it yourself. So it says hair porosity quiz. Confused about hair porosity? Well, it's just how able your hair is to absorb moisture, which is affected by the cuticle structure. A raised cuticle means your hair easily absorbs moisture and is high porosity. A tight cuticle means your hair is reluctant to absorb moisture and is low porosity. If you're somewhere in the middle, you are normal porosity. So let's just start this test. 10 questions. Which sounds more like your experience with products? Products sit on my hair and end up looking like greasy buildup. My hair absorbs products like a sponge, so I have to use a lot of product. I don't really have either issue. I would say I don't really have either issue, personally. 2, I do not absorb hair color or treatment easily. Hair absorbers, I don't color, so this doesn't really apply to me. My hair takes a long time to dry compared to other people with similar hair density. I would say that I believe that my hair takes a long time to dry. Granted, when my hair is drying, they are drying in twists, so it's not like it's air drying. So I would think it takes, okay, it doesn't take days and days and days. Like it takes a day and a half, and I can't tell if that's normal or if that's a long time. So I'm just gonna say it takes forever to dry. Which describes your hair better? Hair looks dry, dull. My hair appears healthy and shiny but has little volume. My hair has a good amount of volume and looks pretty shiny. I'm gonna go with that, or looks pretty healthy. I'm gonna go with that one. My hair was previously bleach, colored, or permed, or otherwise heavily processed within the past year. Nope. Have you tried oils in your hair? Yes, they make my hair look limp and greasy. Oils make my hair look healthy and shiny. Some oils work well in my hair, but I have to be careful. Oils make my hair look healthy and shiny, personally. Which do you need more of? Clarifying treatments, deep conditioning. I use both. I would say deep conditioning, just for me. Okay, how often do you need to wash your hair? I seem to wash my hair often, or it looks greasy. I can go a few days without washing. I can go over 4 days without washing and my hair looks great. Absolutely. I would say that last one for sure. How does your hair respond to sulfate containing shampoo? Sulfate containing shampoos makes my hair look dry and unhealthy. I'm gonna go with that. My hair does not respond well to sulfate shampoos. It was a mess, okay? It's a mess, sweetie. Low poo or co-wash? Low poo, I don't know about this. I haven't tried both. I would say co-wash. I like co-washing. That's my jam. Okay, results. See it here. It says your hair is probably high porosity. Interesting. Alright, so I'm just going to read what it says here under high porosity recommendations and see if it's something that I can agree with. So it says high porosity recommendations. If you are high porosity, your hair benefits from a lot of moisture and nourishment. Use rich, creamy products to help give your hair shine and lock in moisture. Your hair is vulnerable to damage or is damaged, so handle with care. Swap your shampoo for a gentle co-wash cleansing conditioner. Honestly, everything written here is 100% factual for me. You guys know I love a thick with 2 C's, okay? Conditioner, leave-in deep conditioner. For me, it just soaks better into my hair. It just works better. It's easier for me to detangle when something is thick and creamy, especially in my deep conditioners. I did have to swap out shampoos essentially for a cleansing co-wash conditioner. That's the only way that my hair will have it, because if not, it will not have it though. It will not have it. So I had to. So that's interesting. So we have 2 opposing results here. You saw the glass test, I would say it was low porosity results, and for this quiz it's saying high porosity results. I decided then to look into some of the things that people say your hair would love if you have low porosity and your hair would love if you have high porosity, and see which ones are that I can agree with the most, and if I can agree with things from both sides. And I found some very interesting findings, so I'm going to go through the list now. And I'm hoping this can help some of you all, so that you also know whether or not when I'm saying things, that you fall more in the low porosity list or if you fall more in the high porosity list, so you have a better idea. So there are so many videos about signs of whether you have low porosity hair, so there are way more signs than this. I only wrote down the signs that I felt applied or were applicable to my hair. So for low porosity hair, longish time for my hair to dry. Now I believe that it takes a longish time for my hair to dry, but again, like I said, I do dry my hair in sections. It's twisted. I don't just dry it out and about. But when I did the wash and go, that one time I did a wash and go, the video is on my channel, so if you're interested you could check it out. It took forever for my hair to dry, and I thought my hair was going to dry quicker based on other videos of wash and goes that I had watched from people with my hair texture and even people without my hair texture. And their wash and go was able to dry the next day, especially sleeping with their hair out. This is one of the first times that I slept with my hair out and also very, very wet. And it took forever with product, the same products that some of those girls used, and their hair would be dry and ready to be fluffed out and go the next day. My hair was not. I continued to wait long into the afternoon, approaching the evening, went to sleep, woke up the next day still in the center. I can feel product, I can feel the wetness. I ended up having to go out and buy a diffuser just so that I can dry my hair manually and finally have the style work for me. So for me that felt very unusual because it wasn't what I'd seen online of other people doing wash and goes and their process of doing it. So for me, I'm going to say that I believe that my hair takes a long time to dry. Okay, next. LCO method works for me. So people with low porosity hair, the LCO method is what they go for because they have to put the oil or something sealing it last because their cuticles already are not going to open willingly and easily. So putting an oil is definitely not helping with the penetration. They need products to penetrate the hair because it takes a while for the cuticles to open, for products to be absorbed. And so you want to start off with a liquid and then definitely a cream and then maybe an oil. Some people with low porosity hair do not use oils at all because all their hair can take or manage is 2 steps. The oil, don't even bother. For my hair, I can handle oil. You guys know I love having oil as a sealant. That's fine for me, but I definitely could not do the LOC method. That would not work for me. Next sign that you have low porosity hair, you need warm water to help your products absorb. Now this is huge for me. When I'm doing my hair, if I use cold water, it just feels like, is the product even there? It feels like the product is absorbing into the skin on my fingers or the skin on my hand or sitting on top. It does not feel like it's doing what it needs to do. For me, I have noticed, and when I heard this, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I have noticed with my hair that I have to use some type of warm or lukewarm water when I'm trying to get products to work it through. I just kind of assumed that that was everyone because everyone knows cold air, cold water, it's going to close cuticles, whether that's on the skin or on the hair. Doesn't matter, it's closing it up. So I just assumed that was everyone, but I'm guessing maybe people with higher porosity hair, really high porosity hair can probably get things to absorb into their hair with cold or warm water. Okay, now this next one is a bit finicky. It's about protein sensitivity. So apparently people with low porosity hair do tend to have more protein sensitivity, more hair that's prone to being or having protein overloads. Now you all know that the rice water treatment for me was a huge fail. My hair felt like straw. So that could be attributed to me having low porosity hair, or it could be attributed to the fact that I have thick, coarse hair. Strands. I'm talking about the hair strands. So hair strands is different from the volume or density of your hair. If your actual hair strands are very thick, coarse, that is different, and that means that you probably have very high protein type hair, because in order for hair to be that thick and that coarse, it has to have a high amount of natural protein. Now if your hair is more fine, that means your hair probably doesn't have that much strands, I should say, not the volume of your hair. But if your hair strands are more fine and more brittle, that means you already don't have a lot of natural protein in your hair. We all know that hair is made of protein, but the levels of protein differ for each person. It's genetics, it's just the way you were born, and that determines how your hair strands look or how your hair strands feel. So one sign of high proteinous hair strands is that it's very thick and very coarse. So that could be a reason why my hair is sensitive to protein, because I already have so much natural protein going on with my hair that adding more harsh proteins just take me over the top and does not do anything good for my hair. It makes it feel like straw. It makes it feel like it's about to snap like crazy. So that's something to take into account. Okay, so here are some reasons why my hair could be high porosity. So one of the signs of high porosity that my hair falls under is that it doesn't take forever for my hair to get wet. And this is 100% true. When it's time for me to have my wash day, again, my hair has been out for a long time. It's been dry, I guess, for a long time. I do these twist outs before I wash my hair, and I tend to not really wet my twist outs, as that kind of defeats the purpose. I like spray it a little bit to get the zhuzh back into it, but in terms of actually giving it moisture, I don't. So by the end of the twist out, the 2-3 days, whatever moisture from products in my hair have probably evaporated, and so when I'm doing my hair, I moisturize it and get in with the deep conditioning or the deep conditioner. It does not take very long for my hair to soak up. And apparently people with really low porosity hair, even when they're washing their hair on wash days, it takes a while for their hair to soak. If they put their hair under water after having their hair straightened for a long time, meaning that it's been presumably dry for it to remain straight, and they go underwater to revert their hair, it takes forever for the water to soak in, forever for their hair to get wet, for it to start reverting back to curly. That's not my hair at all. The little straightening that I did when I first ended my hair journey, immediately I put water in it, my hair started coming back. My hair loves to revert, okay, sweetie? Okay? Humidity is reverting. So it does not take long for my hair to soak in water after long periods without it. Another thing with high porosity hair is that products apparently spread better on high porosity hair when it's damp or even soaking wet. So, same for me, I cannot really put product in my hair, especially I'm talking about deep conditioners at this point, without having some kind of moisture on there. This is why I love the LCO method, because I do start off with water before I put in my leave-in, my cream, and then my oil on top. For me, my hair needs to have some kind of water, needs to be damp for product to spread better. And I think the reason behind people with low porosity hair not being able to get away with that all the time is because their hair is low porosity. So when it's filled up at some point with water, it's very hard for products to enter after that. There's not enough space for the products to go in afterwards. Whereas people with high porosity hair, their hair can take in water, then it could still take in product, and then it could still take in and then on top, and you know. And my hair does not have a problem with being really damp and still absorbing product. It never feels like the product is sitting on top of it. In fact, I do get my hair really damp to soaking wet status when I'm deep conditioning my hair and putting in my products, and it still feels really, really like it's soaking in. This next one is huge for me. With high porosity hair, it loves heavy creams, heavy butters, 100%. I don't even have to say pem. Okay, I'm not gonna say pem, and I don't want to hear pem. My hair just loves heavier creams, heavier butters. It works better for me. I'm just gonna keep it at that. People with higher porosity hair tend to do things similar to the curly girl method, meaning no shampoos. I didn't know this. I love the curly girl method, been doing it before I even knew what porosity was, porosity guinea. I didn't know, okay? I'm a game. But I've always liked doing the curly girl method and always found that shampoo was not something, especially with sulfate, beneficial to my hair. I get away with using a cleansing co-wash conditioner. It's actually for cleansing, so it does the job. It's not just a regular conditioner that I'm co-washing with. It's good for cleansing, and that works perfectly for me. In fact, better for me personally. And this is something that could be attributed to the fact that you have higher porosity hair. And so your hair doesn't have too much buildup or doesn't get built up too easily. And so you don't always have to use shampoos to clear it out, like people with lower porosity hair that might be more prone to buildup. And the last one that really struck a chord with me is coconut oil. My hair likes coconut oil. High porosity hair apparently tends to like coconut oil, according to what some people have said about high porosity hair. And my hair personally, I do like coconut oil. I use coconut oil to detangle, like when it's still firm. If my hair is really, really bad, I like to take coconut oil and mix it in with my deep conditioner, and it really does help define and detangle my hair. Love it. Got that trick from Natural 85, and I remember in the comments people saying that they tried it. A lot of people were like, oh my god, my hair hates this, I can't do it. And a lot of other people were like, oh my god, this is amazing. Why is this the first time I've heard it? And I remember finding that pretty interesting. Again, this was before all of the porosity talks, that, you know, no matter what your hair texture is, you might have a hair texture similar to me and try coconut oil to detangle and it goes terribly wrong, or you might have one similar to me or completely different and it works for you. So it's interesting having an answer or a reason to potentially why you might have the same hair texture, but of course different porosities, which makes the routine different. We've already always known that just because you have the same hair type as someone does not mean their routine is going to work for you. You try everything at your own risk, and then if it works, try it on little sections. If it works, you keep it. If it doesn't, move on, try the next thing. And so for me, coconut oil as a detangler, coconut oil on my hair was something that I tried and that my hair absolutely loved, and that is something that high porosity hair tends to love, that low porosity people don't have a great experience with. Okay. So, this last thing I'm going to throw in because I actually have a question for you all. So if you've been following along with this video and trying to figure out, based on what I'm saying, what your porosity could be, again, I just told you a list of things that my hair falls into on the low porosity side, and then things that it also falls into on the high porosity side, which leads me to believe that I might actually be medium porosity. But you all have heard what I've said, so you guys have seen the test that I've done. Let me know what you think that my porosity would be, what I should officially start claiming. But I definitely think it's time to let go of the low porosity, because I think at this point he's not giving low porosity, okay? He's not giving what it's supposed to have given, okay? It's not that. But one thing that I do want to ask that might help some of you following along trying to figure out what your porosity is about chemical treatment. So that's coloring, that's relaxing. If you were old enough to remember when your hair was relaxed, if you have colored your hair recently and you're older and you're aware of the situation, one main way that you can figure out what your porosity is how long chemical treatments take to absorb into your hair. So if you're relaxing your hair and you had to let it, you're one of those people that had to let the relaxer or the Texlax or whatever sit on your hair a very long time because it's going to take a while for it to start doing what it needs to do, that means you have lower porosity hair, because it takes time for things, molecules, to absorb into the hair to do what they're supposed to do. When you color treat your hair, if it takes forever for the color to catch on your hair, that means you probably have low porosity hair, which is why it takes a long time for the color to absorb. Now, if you know you have to take that relaxer off super quick, or that color off super quick, or the bleach, whatever, because it's gonna look crazy fast, okay? Alright, okay, are you getting me? Okay, then you know you probably have high porosity hair. I personally was not old enough to remember when I was relaxed, nor have I ever color treated my hair, so I do not know based on that, but I think that would be a very, very good indicator. Probably one of the best, less ambiguous indicators on this list. So hopefully this helped. This is a very long rundown, but I hope that I went as quick as possible, but also explained as well as I could, so that you guys could catch along and so that you guys could figure out what it is that your hair is along with me. So that is it. We're going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate all those that have ordered oils, that have been going on this hair growth journey, that went on it with me, and that are continuing on it or just using the oil. Really do appreciate it. Links will be down below. Get yourself some coffee bean oils. I already see the little coffee beans floating in there, whatever. Okay. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, okay? Please, we're trying to grow the channel. Man's been stagnant. Man's been stagnant a bit, you know? So I'm trying to come back with that fire. Come back with the informative videos, innit? Tell your friends. If your friends are looking for why their hair might be this porosity or that porosity, send them the porosity hair quiz. Send them this video. Let them know. We're gonna figure this out together. Anyway, follow me on Instagram if you're interested. You can follow OMALICHILD on Instagram as well to see some behind the scenes on how I create the oils, mix, package, all them things. You get me? You get me. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.